World dynamics have changed, and that might got you thinking, should I leave my current country and move to Portugal? Is Portugal the solution? So I'm going to start a video series to walk you through if indeed Portugal is the solution, because moving countries is no joke. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of logistics, and especially if you have children, it can be quite disruptive. So before you jump in the bandwagon of moving to Portugal no matter what, I wanted to walk through a couple of points for your consideration. And today we are gonna focus on a very important one. Being an engineer, we need to get practical. So let's start with how are you going to support yourself once you move to Portugal? So don't get me wrong, Portugal is an absolute lovely place to live, but if you have the right means to support yourself. And I'm gonna have to walk you through some really harsh reality, which is the fact that in historical numbers, a lot of young Portuguese have left Portugal. And there is a reason behind it, which is the salaries are extremely low when you compare with the rest of Europe. So if you come to Portugal thinking about getting a job in here, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's gonna be extremely difficult, especially if you do not master the language or you have a very specific skill set that is needed and very specifically on the IT realm. So let me walk you through some facts. I'm sorry to bring some disappointment if you're planning to work for others in Portugal, but there is a bright light. If you come with your own business or if you think about starting a business in Portugal, that can be an option to support yourself. Other than that, you've probably seen when you search the forums that a lot of people move to Portugal with passive income. So they are already retired or semi-retired. They have passive income that covers their expenses in Portugal. And that seems to be a big majority of the people that move. So let's jump into some reality points here. So let's start with a little bit of reality check, just to give you some facts between this period. Around 1.5 million of Portuguese people left Portugal. That is a huge amount. That has placed Portugal as number one in Europe with people leaving the country and the 8th at the global level. So you can see there is a reason behind it. I mean, young people are looking for a better opportunity and they unfortunately do not see it in Portugal. So they leave and it's a very sad reality. And you can see already here that there is like 2.3 million already leaving outside Portugal. Let's jump a little bit on, let's compare here salaries. So if we compare the annual salary of, for instance, US with here Portugal, you can see it's a huge difference. It's a really big difference. And when you think about cost of living, Portugal might be slightly, well, if you think about healthcare is definitely very different from US. But in terms of groceries, with inflation, the prices have been going up. If you think about rental, it has been exponentially going up, specifically on the big cities. So you can see it's difficult for a family or even two working with these types of salaries. All that bad. There is still industries in Portugal that are very well paid. You can see here, for instance, this is a director level on the industry of services, the amount of the minimum and the maximum they can get. But these are very high level positions. It's all director level on an industry, director level on retail, financial, commercial. It's very high up positions. And even for these high up positions, if you compare these salaries for another country as US, it will probably be the double. For a general manager level will make much more than this. So you already see it's not only on low paying jobs, but very high paying jobs. The difference is also huge. A general manager making this amount, it's really low compared to US or UK or another Northern European country. And also for skilled labor, if you're a specialist in IT, like a cloud architect, an engineer in software, even these salaries are very low. This can even be seen as an entry level in US. So you really need to think of this through. If you come to work for others, this is a reality you need to take in consideration. Your pay might be a big reduction coming from, for instance, US or UK. The lowest paying jobs here, you can see is a big difference. So this one is a driver of like a big truck. This is the amount they will make. If you work as a chef or a sub chef, you can see here the values you will be making. If you're in marketing, this will be the values. If you're supervising in logistics, this one is if you're installing solar panels, the amount you will be getting. Or if you're working in languages, translation, and etc., you can see these values are very low. So here we compare Portugal average salary across all the other European countries, and you can see that Portugal is lagging here towards the bottom. So this is the average. If you average out everyone's salary, this is the average salary, and you can see above here the highest salaries in Europe reside on the Nordic countries, Luxembourg, Denmark, Ireland, Belgium, Austria. So these are things to consider. And not only that, but the tax system in Portugal has also been changing, and taxation has been increasing quite a lot. So those are several things to pay attention. Now, if we think about, okay, these are the salaries, okay? You've told me how much we can achieve, but if we also look about one of the biggest expenses you're going to have first thing when you move to Portugal is going to be rent. So that's going to be a big expense, a big chunk of money that you have to put aside to pay. And right now, they are quite high, the rents. If you look in Idealista in Lisbon, you're going to notice that prices are quite high for smaller places around 90 square meters. They can go anything from 1,500 to 2,000 and above, depending on the conditions of the apartment. So one thing to consider is also looking into districts that are a little bit cheaper. So here Idealista did a study regarding what are the cheapest rents available per square meter. So you can see here Castelo Branco is one of the lowest rent for square meters. So let's say if you're looking for 90 square meters, maybe you're doing 400, 500 euros rent. And on the cheapest but a little bit more expensive, you have Coimbra, which can go all the way to 1,000 and above, the more the square meters you have. So I'm going to be doing another series on this, is Portugal the right solution? I'll definitely touch here on the real estate, and I'm going to touch on a very big element, which is if you have a kid and you're considering international school, you need to look into those prices because they've been growing, and they've been growing quite a bit. So this is just an example. I just picked one random international school. Park International School is a good example. And if you scroll down here on the prices, you can see as kids grow, they get expensive. If you look here for some of the latest grades, in addition to getting them registered, you need to pay this, and this is the amount annually. So this is part one of the series, Is Portugal the Solution for You? Let me know what are your questions down below. What are the concerns, questions you have regarding moving to Portugal, and I can address them on the next videos. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more. And on the next series, I'm thinking about going into real estate and also education, two big elements when you move with children. But I leave it like that for today. If you come to Portugal expecting to work for others, you might want to think twice, especially if you're coming from locations as US and UK, where the scale of salary ranges is much higher than Portugal, and also the number of opportunities are much higher than Portugal. Portugal might not be the solution because moving from one country to another is a big hassle. You don't want to be in a new country and having financial stress. That's the kind of stress to avoid at all costs if possible. So thank you so much for watching. Until the next time.